Well, not really a sunrise yet because there's no color to it, but that's what it looks like that direction. Yeah. A little less than a half a moon. Some funny marks here in the driveway. Yeah, would have been a whole lot easier if that would have been a rear tire. But, you know, I guess it's time. Yeah, I was fumbling for it. Yeah, actually, there's no cobwebs in my coffee cup. Cobwebs in your coffee cup become cobwebs in your brain and the coffee doesn't do its job. So, texted Ben last night with a couple questions since he used to work for a tire shop. And his dad, I don't think does anymore. I'm not sure, he might still. We're going to go ahead and go to tubeless. Probably should check those tires, make sure they're actually a tubeless. I think they are. I'm sure they are. That seems to me I checked when we got them. But I don't have any stems, so they're supposed to be here sometime between now and 11 o'clock. Came down here and this one, of course, the stem's clear out of the hole. The tubes that are on this are actually the ones, at least part of them anyway, have the removable core like the tractors do. And that's what we're going with because, you know, they seem to hold up good, and if something happens, I've got cores, I can change things out. As long as it doesn't wipe out the base. Oh, did you catch me up here bullshitting? Good morning, 111J. Still can't remember what Ty called her when she was little. Maybe one of you can. I don't care. It's 111J. She's a big girl and she looks pregnant. Imagine that. She better be. Oh yeah, that's what we did with the bucket. Because when we swapped the forks were over in the other bay in front of the tubs. And just dropped the bucket here and didn't notice that being flat when I backed out. Didn't notice it being flat before I got on it. When I noticed it, where'd I put? Oh, there's the other. The lime was on top of this. That pallet wasn't there. Just the pallet the lime was on. I picked that up and I thought I was going to take a ride right out of the seat. And I set it down and I looked down and I backed up and looked down at the tire and went, it's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. My coffee cup had a growth on it.
What do you eat from the store, baby?
$1 million, Carlota's spending money.
More what, honey?
And she walks away. She was sitting here on me,
More
being a happy
tractors?
girl.
What?
Good morning, Wyatt. Happy boy. Happy boy. Yeah. Happy boy. Yeah. Hey, you want to go out and work on some stuff in the shop? What do you mean, no?
This came yesterday morning and I told the guy I'd have it done yesterday morning, and y'all saw how my yesterday went. New feet. No, they're not the same length. Doesn't matter. They're the right length to fit what was there though. And some of the old foot's still there. I just welded through it. Just filled a hole right there in the middle of the screen. And I got to straighten this part and stiffen it up. Use this for a manure cart in a horse place, and they got a little loader tractor with a big bucket. I think they're still using the bucket we built, God, probably 15, 20 years ago, I guess. They drive the tractor down the middle of the alley and scoop the pins into these things, and of course they scrape them. They give them a shove toward the tractor so they don't got to pack them, and then they let it scrape on the feet. Those happen to be hard pieces, so it'll last a while. And when they get it up to the loader bucket, they slam that into it, And when they got it up there, they got it on it, and then they do this with it and beat it to get the manure out of the cart. I've worked on this one before. When he brought it, I'm thinking, oh, a new cart, different wheels. No, this just changed the wheels. I've done a lot of work on this one, actually. Scraps in there holding it together. Now my phone's ringing. Becky had to call me to tell me that Scamazon was here with our tubeless stems. I know those need to get cleaned up before they go together too. Got to get the wheels off the machine too and get them cleaned up because, you know, they're full of shit. Anyway, another place I worked on this one. You can see where they had it all busted up. I don't know how many of these carts they got, but unless he's gotten the new one since the last one I worked on, I've worked on all of them. They get a pretty good abuse. And one thing they do when these are new, this is two different pieces, and I think if I remember right, there's a sleeve in there, and then yeah, there was a bolt there, I think. Yeah, so I filled the bolt holes. This is welded from factory. This piece slides in to there, and then they put a bolt, and they can't hold up that way. I mean, little Susie's backyard, where she might put a little grass clippings or whatever in it, and gently take it across the yard and dump it, they hold up, but not when you really use them. So anyway, that part's done. Now I just got to figure out how I'm going to straighten that. I'm thinking a block of wood and a hammer, or 2 blocks of wood and a hammer. I'm going to see if I can find some probably 1-inch angle iron and cap on this side. That'll give them something a lot solider to bang the bucket with. Well, there's what I did. It's they're about as straight as they're going to be. Yes, I know there's a little flat on it. Didn't have much choice. Uh-oh, looks like I left a little hole there. I'm not going to tell him. It had holes anyway. Actually used 2 pieces here. I didn't have, see, that piece was this much too long for the other side, and that piece right there is a little different material, but it'll work. And threw some paint on it. Why? I don't care what kind of manure it is, the first thing it eats out is welds. So protect the welds and it'll last longer. That's all baked on enamel, by the way. Smells good. Dang, I guess I left a couple holes over there too. That's okay, where they're at, they're not going to get anything in them anyway. So that's done. Ty was going to work on getting the tires and wheels off the skid steer and getting them cleaned up and brought up here, but she got sidetracked. And I did check. Yes, they say tubeless on them. I was sure they did. Damn good thing too, because that's what we need. Front's up. Now you get the back up. And the back is a pain, and I'm hoping that one's going to do it by itself, but I'm not holding my breath. She's naked. Jack's still under it. It ain't going nowhere. The other side's blocked. This side's blocked. It's sitting on the block, so I just ran the jack back up against it. And this is the awesome opportunity to get to, I know it's in there somewhere. There it is. There's a grease zerk buried in there. That one's always exposed. You can get to it. This one's to the front, I think. What the heck? There is a grease zerk on there. About the 3rd or 4th year I had this machine, we found out that there's grease zerks there. Found that out when there was a bearing on this side of the other side. There are regular Timken bearings in there. It's a regular hub. I was putting round bales in the big bale barn, and all of a sudden the machine jumped. But she's cleaning those 2 up. The closest one there's a spare. It gets cleaned up and put back in the machine shed. The other one gets to get broke down. I'm going to get the other two off. Glove dryer. And our squeak issue down there, belt was too tight. He says, yeah, you can't run those belts tight. You run it just tight enough that it doesn't slip when the motor turns on. And ours runs all the time anyway. So on this one, it's got a full inch of deflection. And he'd never checked our flue temp. So drilled a hole, put his deal in. His deal goes to 800 degrees and we were at 795 when he gave up. It's high. He says, it's a big furnace. And we've just got it necked down too much. So to start with, we're gonna get rid of that stretch of 6 inch and run 8 inch out. Will help. It'll be a lot more efficient. So I thought I'd bring you up to speed on that. You know, that's just what we threw together when we did it, because what we could get for pieces, 2 of those and 2 of those is what fit over the opening, with the exception of 3/4 of an inch. And that's how we did it, with the thinking, you know, a smaller tip is going to blow farther. He said, yep, you're right, it will, but it holds enough back that it's not as efficient. Now these are all in here. I missed a little shit on that one. Oh well. The spare is still down below. It goes over to the machine shed. She just laid that one in my way. The two, that one and that one still got air in them. I'm going to pull the shredders out of. And I'm really hoping that Ben has a real early day today. He shows up here in another hour or two and we can get it back together. But I gotta come over here. Yeah, that one will work. Yeah, see, I actually had some, but I wouldn't trust that one. I wouldn't put it in. That's probably 40 years old anyway. Well, I got these new ones cleaned up. You know, they were full of everything from sitting in the back barn. Dirt, hay, 10 million spiders, 10 million spider nests. There. Should be clean enough now. This one's a dirtier one. It was more exposed to the weather. And skid steer tires are so much fun. I got the block of wood to hold it down low. I'd have to go into the drop. But I can't get the rest of it to go into the drop. So yeah, I've been having fun. And I don't know when Ben's gonna get here. You may or may not get to see some video of Ben working on my tires. Last I talked to him was when I went in for lunch, and he was obviously not in the shop today. He's been either on road building sides or in the shop for a while. And he's obviously back in a log truck because he was headed down to Eugene with a load. So, you know, that takes a while. I don't know where he was on his trip. He may have been halfway down there. I have no idea. If he was halfway down there, I would hope he'd be here before too much longer. But time he gets back to their shop at Banks and then gets back out here, takes a little time too. So, anyway, that might be the end of it for you. And Ty mentioned earlier, I don't think I got any video of it. Tomorrow, Wyatt is 4 months old. He's cruising right along. And Wyatt and Blakely's little friend Wesley, Bobby, who drives for Maury, his son, just turned a year old. Yesterday or day before, I don't know, somewhere in there. So, must be important days for babies. And the guy I fixed that cart for, he's got a pretty good sized horse place up on the hill, and he's also a contractor, been a contractor for probably 30 years anyway, I guess, maybe longer. He asked where I found them, what I was going to do with them. I said, they're going to go through that planer right there so they can see how pretty they are, and they're going to be shelves in the house again. He said, well, what is it? And I said, well, get the paint off. Well, no. I said, it kind of looks a lot like cedar. And, you know, I think we've discussed that. You look at those chips, they're red. And he said the really old Douglas fir will turn red like that. So he thinks of Doug fir, which is a very, very good possibility. I mean, with where they came from, out of the old house, I don't doubt that at all. Because I would imagine everything out of the old house came from either the mill that was just down the road or another one that was up the creek from there another quarter mile. The one up the creek from there another quarter mile was still going when Mom and Dad moved here, and that's where most of the lumber, actually everything for the main barn except for the calf barn portion, came from there, along with all the old 1x6 fencing boards and all that came from there. That used to be here years ago. So, you know, keeping it local and making it look pretty. And the old house was clay block foundation and walls. It had a basement under it. And that, including a lot of tile and a lot of bricks that are here, all came from the tile factory over at Shoals, which is 5 miles away. That's, you know, been long since that's been in business. Most of the stuff's all been torn down now. I remember going, the grade school was right next to it, and I remember in grade school they were still running stuff through the kiln. They had, was it 2 or 3 big kilns? I mean, bigger than our shop. And I remember going by there and they were all smoking and fire running them. So anyway, I'm probably going to end the video here. I will get some video of Ben, of course. But I'm whooped. I did. The only one that was actually broke loose from the wheel, was that one that the bars are on. Because that's the one I ran on. The others, they were still stuck. And I spent, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes beating on the 3 of them on both sides to get the tire broke loose. So, yeah. I'm going to edit and upload, and you're going to get to watch it. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you all had a great Friday. Hope everybody has a great Saturday. And as always, we'll see what tomorrow brings.